Case study, timing in baseball. Bill came to see me because he had problems in baseball. Bill's problem was that his batting average was going down, and he couldn't do anything about it. He told me that his batting average was usually around 300 plus, and he had gone down to approximately 200 batting average. Although he's putting the extra batting practice in and working out hard, he still couldn't bring his batting average up to the level that he was accustomed to. I told Bill that working out harder and doing the extra batting practice, although good, wouldn't increase his batting average. At this point, he thought, I was strange. I was a strange person in saying these comments. And to prove my point, I told him that if hard work and extra batting practice was the answer, then why wasn't he improving? At that point, he told me that he was at a loss and just couldn't figure out how to solve this problem. I told him that I had the solution to this problem and that I would give him some key information that would solve this problem. The problem the problem had to do with basically 75% timing, his timing being off, and the 25% body mechanic problem. First of all, the timing in batting has nothing to do with how hard you train or how much batting practice you do. Timing has to do with how the mind and body communicates with each other. That would enable the athletes to have his timing either being on, where everything is working great, or it'll be off, where it'll be always off slightly. See, when everything is going well in your sport, then your internal timing is on, and everything seems to work out perfectly for you. But when this internal communication between the mind and body is off, then this will affect your batting average in the following ways. Number one, you will swing at the ball too soon. Number two, you will swing at the ball too late. Number three, you will get tense and hesitate for a split second. Or number four, you will just freeze up and not do anything. I asked Bill if he had certain days where he couldn't do anything wrong even though he tried. And Bill answered, yes, I've had those great days, and it seems that he was invincible at bat. Then I asked him to tell me about those days where everything goes wrong and what does he do about it. And Bill answered that he gets frustrated, he feels negative, he fears that the team might trade him or maybe to send him to the minors. Basically, he starts to train harder and to do a lot more batting practice to try to get back on track. Bill, I told him, if you don't fix this timing problem, then it doesn't matter if you get in the best shape or you do thousands of hours in batting practice, because you'll still have the same problem. The reason I say that is because you'll only be able, at best, to have hope that things will work themselves out. Usually athletes get into this hope mode because they assume that they've done everything that they're supposed to, and they should be able to peak at the right time to perform perfectly during the competition or game. Bill then told me that he's had instructions from the top batting gurus, and they don't know how to fix his batting problems. I told Bill that I don't have a clue about time. I told Bill that they don't have a clue about what timing is and how it works because they've never been exposed to this type of training, and it's not their fault. They will just show you whatever has been done for the past 100 years, and again, hope that things will work themselves out. I told Bill that this timing synchronization was like having a mental thermostat that regulates all the communication between the mind and body. Athletes don't know how to regulate this internal thermostat because they've never been exposed to this new technology. Also, I told him that I had the same problem with timing when I was competing for Team Canada in karate. One day everything would work great, and the next everything would just fall apart for no apparent reason. I went to see all the top experts and gurus, and the only thing they could advise me to do was train harder, get in great shape, and with times things will work themselves out. Bill then asked, well, how did it work out? I told him, well, although I was training 7 days per week, I had karate in my mind 24 hours a day, and I pushed myself 25% harder than everybody else, I still couldn't achieve and maintain peak performance level because my timing was off. At that point, I told Bill I almost quit and got mad at these gurus for not being able to help me. So, so at that time, I started to do some research, and so I over the next 16 years, I developed a system which is made up of the 9 secrets, and this really eliminated all these timing problems that I had. So next, I gave Bill a lesson in timing. I told him the what, when, where, why, and how timing can be adapted for how it's adapted, and he can use it in baseball. Also, I gave him a lesson in body mechanics that would help him improve his batting swing to enable him to have more power and balance. Bill then told me he'd never seen anything like this and was surprised at how simple and easy to learn the techniques were for him to learn. I told Bill that my goal was to develop a system that was simple, easy to learn, and wouldn't matter what the age of the athlete was, because it could be implemented into their favorite sport almost instantly. So also, it would enable them for athletes to instantly have the results in a few minutes to a couple of hours training. That was my goal. So Bill tried my system in the next couple of weeks, and he gave me a call to tell me about his batting average was over 400, and he had never been able to achieve this level ever. So he asked me that if his batting average, he asked me that he wanted to know if his batting average would go any higher. I told him I didn't know that, but what I did know for sure is that my system would elevate his game to the highest level possible for his talents and abilities. And again, what I know for sure is that Bill was able to experience a more consistent level and to bring his game and peak performance level to the level that he wanted. Improvements are different for athletes. Some will improve 5%, 10%, or even 60%. But it's not the percentage that is really important here for any athlete. It's really what level of improvement that is needed for you to excel at and maintain a consistent level in your sport. Bill was glad for his performance, and although he was still experiencing some fluctuations in his performance, he was still glad that he could control and maintain his performance on the most consistent level. Note, this timing technique can be adapted and customized to any sport and will produce drastic results within a few minutes to a couple of hours training, guaranteed.